Hello, welcome to Dungeon Dwellers Podcast. I'm your host, Justin. Today we're reviewing Uncanny X-Men, The New Age, Volume 2, The Cruelest Cut. Unfortunately, I don't have Volume 1, which is the end of history, right? We're working on it. So, yeah, this is written by Chris Claremont. This graphic novel came out in 2005. This is pre-Decimation era, which we've been reviewing Decimation era, which is the fallout of House of M, right? Yeah, so this is written by Chris Carmont with art by Alan Davis and Andy Park, right? And you get the X-Men's first run-in with X-23, which was created by Craig Kyle and Christopher Yost on the X-Men Evolution cartoon, right? And here you can see the team we're working with, which I don't know. This character was not in the book, so I don't know his name. But like, you have Storm as the leader of the X-Men, Sage, who is the former Black Queen of the Hellfire Club, Bishop, Rachel Gray, Marvel Girl, who is the daughter of Jean Grey. Don't really know this character that well. Wolverine and Nightcrawler, right? So the book, starts off. Well, the book, I should mention, collects issues 450 through 454 of Uncanny X-Men, right? And it has two stories in this book, right? Two arcs, which is the first one is the Cruelest Cut, where here you see Nightcrawler and Rachel Gray, Marvel Girl, fighting in the Danger Room, having an unpowered combat session, right, where they're fighting pirates. It turns out, Nightcrawler isn't just like a religious duty do-gooder. He's also a fan of like old pirate movies, and he gets a little carried away and makes out with Rachel Gray, who comes off like a teenager in the book, but I'm not exactly sure how old she's supposed to be, right? And the Nightcrawler gets busted by Wolverine and Storm, right? Yeah, so the book is, what the Cruelest Cut is about is you have this girl called Jade Parisi, who is Adon's daughter, who goes missing in Mutant Town, right? And gets attacked by these mutant bashers because she was dating a mutant, right? Somebody kills the mutant bashers, right? Somebody who kind of looks like Wolverine. I wonder who that is, right? And like the mafia girl goes missing. While this is going on, you have this side story with Sage, who's reminiscing about her Hellfire Club days, which Hellfire Club was a group that was like sorry, my dog is barking. I was literally outside with her for an hour, and now she's barking. Yeah, Sage was in the Hellfire Club as the Black Queen, while like Sebastian Shaw was the Black King, and like the X-Men had run-ins with the Hellfire Club, right? So yeah, while this is going on, the X-Men get called in by this mutant pathologist or who runs the morgue in Mutant Town, and gets told, hey, a bunch of people were killed by a mutant. You gotta figure this out before it causes mutant hate hysteria, right? So they go and investigate, right? While that's going on, the mafia boss father is sending like a mutant called Geach to go out and find his daughter, right? Yeah. So Bishop and the X-Men go out looking for the girl. You have this mutant club, which is obviously, it's supposed to be a mutant themed club, but if you look at the costumes people are wearing, they're obviously a lot of superheroes, right? You have somebody dressed up like classic Captain Marvel, right? And you have these alien women called the Bache, who are running this like crime organization in Manhattan, right? So what's going on is they run into X-23 at this club, chase her down. They have no idea who she is, but it's pretty obvious that she's somehow connected to Wolverine because she has his healing factor and claws, right? Yeah. So what ends up happening in this story is that it turns out that X-23 has been protecting people in Mutant Town from the Bache, right? And the mutant haters, and you know, the mutant haters, right? And that they basically they let X-23 go, even though she killed a bunch of people, because she was just protecting the this Jade chick because she's friends with her boyfriend, right? Anybody else they would have thrown in jail, but because X-23 is a mutant, they protect her, right? And then they're trying to set her up as a member of the team. I think she joins the team in the next volume, right? Because you can see her. Yeah, because you can see her at the back of the third volume there, which I own. Right. So yeah, I found this a little hypocritical of the X-Men, right? Because they'll go after like the Brotherhood of Evil Mutants for killing people. Right. Yes, there was like a self-defense aspect where like, oh, she was just protecting her friend, but she butchered those guys, man. Like they go after the Punisher every chance they get, and he's killing mobsters and criminals. This chick was killing was killing not misunderstood, delinquents basically, and they let her go. So it's like that. I have a problem with that. But yeah, for the next story, it was pretty cool. It's Chasing Hellfire Club. What happens is that Sage leaves the X-Men to go back to join the Hellfire Club. She sends two groups of the X-Men that go after her on wild goose chases. Wolverine, Storm, Bishop, and Nightcrawler go and find Sebastian Shaw, while Marvel Girl and Emma Frost go to Hong Kong to bust up mutants slavery ring, right, being run by the Hellfire Club. Which you have this cool scene where Marvel Girl for some reason doesn't like Emma Frost, and they have this battle, right? This psychic battle, which was pretty cool, right? And even at one point of the psychic battle, Marvel Girl turns Emma Frost fat and has the X-Men laugh at her. But then, like, Emma Frost is like, oh, Cyclops loves me even though, like, I'm fat. That was kind of funny, right? Yeah, here's Emma Frost and Rachel Gray at Hong Kong, where they're trying to bust up evil mutants. Also, there's this mutant called Selene who wants to take over Marvel Girl's body. You have okay, I'm gonna skip this stuff because it just take too long to explain, right? Yeah. So what happens is that it turns out they go to meet Sebastian Shaw. Sebastian Shaw apparently is trying to reform the Hellfire Club, and even like Sunspot from New Mutants, Roberto da Costa, also part of X-Force, is also joined Hellfire and wants to use it as a force for good for mutants, right? While that happens, there's Donald Pierce, by the way, who dies at the end of this book, which was weird because he was alive in the X-Force comic I reviewed, where, that was from like 3 years after this book. So that was, what's going on here. But yeah, he dies at the end. Donald Pierce, who hates mutants, wants to take over the Hellfire Club and use them to exterminate mutants. Obviously, the X-Men joined forces with... there's Selene fighting Marvel Girl. So obviously the X-Men joined forces with Sebastian Shaw to defeat Donald Pierce, who's a cyborg, and like Sebastian Shaw basically like knocks his head off. Alright. So I don't know, I like this book. It has this, I love Chris Claremont does a good job of mixing the old, like, Silver Age style of storytelling while putting in modern comic book, like, traits into this book, right? Which I find funny that it's like the book takes place in 2005 and, like, Storm still has a beeper. What I really liked about this book is, like, in a lot of comics where they have Wolverine's healing factor is OP as fuck. Here he gets hurt and he's down for a little bit, and also like the Donald Pierce mercenaries had like nanite weapons that messed with Wolverine's healing factor. So like you actually had Wolverine having to struggle in his fight against like the bad guys in this book, right? Where like in a lot of books in like later issues of Craig Kyle's like X-Force, he basically just like runs through bad guys, right? So here he actually struggles. There is some of the typical like agenda in this book, X-Men agenda, right? But like I said, there is a scene where mutants at the Xavier Institute, students was harassing a normal human at the Xavier Institute, and they called her a flat scan. So they show that prejudice runs both ways. So at least he keeps it at a middle ground. He doesn't say all humans are bad, are all bad, and mutants are good. He doesn't play that game, right? He shows that there's prejudice in both sides. So it's yes, he has the mutant as an allegory for prejudice, but he kind of has this neutral stance that I like, right? Yeah. So I'm giving this book, a 6.5 out of 10. If you can get it for cheap, I would recommend it, right? And it's nice to see the Hellfire Club. I haven't read a lot of books with the Hellfire Club in them, right? So this was a good book, right? I don't know what it normally goes for because there's a sticker. And I paid like $10. I got this book on special when I got it, over a decade ago, right? So my next X-Men month review is going to be X-Statix, which is a graphic novel by Peter Milligan and Mike Allred, which Mike Allred's one of my favorite artists, right? Also, Paul Pope and Darwin Cook also work on this book as well, guys. Yeah, so that's it for this